Hello, neighbor. I'm currently sort of boondoggling through Snow Pass Trail in Yellowstone. It's a peaceful little woodsy area. I'm not that far in. The trail, I think it said it was about 4.3 miles. And then all of these trails, or at least this trail in particular, it connects to a bunch of longer trails. I think Electric Peak is connected to, or the trail leading up to Electric Peak is it's connected to this trail. And then there's also a trail that I eventually want to do called it's called Sepulcher Peak. And Sepulcher Peak and Electric Peak, they're some of the higher peaks in the area. Yeah, I've got 2 days off, so I'm just enjoying the rest, enjoying the peace, enjoying the birds. Oh, wow. Wow. Oh my goodness. So I found this cavern just alongside the trail, and the video will not do it any justice. It is really, really deep. There's a lot of moss and lichen all over the rock, just headed down. But I don't know, I'm impressed. And then there are like sections of the rock that are like broken off, or just like, or yeah, there's There's obviously some sort of geologic force ripping this rock apart, and so there's just like different sections of rock that are just getting, I don't know, it's just beautiful. I'm afraid of dropping my phone down there. So here we have just that like section, more of like, I don't know, you can see there's just this section of rock that's pulling off of the side of the wall. And then down here, we've got a bunch of moss. And yeah, that goes on pretty far. I can see just a little speck of light down there. Be a dangerous place for a person or a creature to get caught up in. Then just sort of goes this way, trails off right about here. Yeah, it's still pretty deep. We've got this really interesting, scraggly I don't know, I like the pattern of it. The pattern of the rock. Looking on the other side of the trail, you can see little sections that are starting to pull apart over here. And I am standing right in the middle of it. Yeah. I'm not sure if you can hear it on the camera. Or at least experience a little bit of it from the sound on the camera. Usually wind is unpleasant when it's recorded. But you might be able to hear a little bit of it. Just the sound of the wind blowing through the trees. And then the sway of the trees. And then I like listening to the different sounds that the wind makes depending on what type of tree it is. Some of the leaves, they sort of wave. I don't know. They wave differently in the wind. And the feeling that I get when I'm out here on hikes, and when I hear the wind, it's this timeless feeling. Just a sense that the wind has been here for millennia, and oh, I just heard a twig snap. I think I'm gonna head this way. Keep walking. And keep my eyes out for bears. So I've heard it said that there's a thing that happens when we go into another room, something with like the brain or the heart, and I'm not even really sure how to describe it, but it often comes up when people say that they forget things when they enter another room. And I think a lot about this as it pertains to I guess our cell phones, and then going out into nature, and then I guess large rooms with a lot of aisles. I wonder how all that works. And then I also think about it with relationships. What does that space look like between two people? And do we ever leave the room when it comes to relationships? When I'm walking outside in the forest, out in the wilderness, I get different feelings. I think probably I often attribute them to like feelings of childhood. Just like a feeling of walking down a long trail and just there are all these trees on the side of the trail. and then you can't see too far into the side part of the trail. A lot of it's overgrown. Sometimes the trees are just really thick. In particular, I'm thinking of a trail that I walked probably as a teen. And all the trees, they were planted by someone, so they were all like equally spaced. And so the further you walked in, the thicker the trees got. I don't know, I guess sometimes I feel that I've come across that same trail before. Just like thousands of miles away, though. And then I also think about all of the distractions that I have at my fingertips when I'm at home. And I think about where my mind wanders to. It's natural, at least my understanding is that it's natural for us to go down the path that is of least resistance. When I'm on my phone, what room am I in? The phone is not a place. It's a distraction. But then I think about walking into a cinema or watching a movie, having to sit down for 2 or 3 hours to watch a movie. I guess the room is sacred. The movie is sacred. And I hope that with these videos, that somehow these videos can also be sacred. Because watching videos for me on the internet, on YouTube, that's been sacred to me. I've gotten to sit with a lot of people in their thoughts as I've scrolled through all the pathways of the internet. Oh, I'm trying to put it under the wrong latch. If a relationship is a room, a sacred room, if a good relationship is a sacred room, And I feel that a lot of the relationships that we engage in can sometimes be a little tattered, and sometimes the walls are falling down. The house is a sacred thing to sit in, or at least it can be. But then I've been in homes, and I've been in places that don't feel very sacred. I've worked in warehouses that often they feel too much like war zones. They're just places tattered, or places speckled and spotted with politics. Beautiful, lush marsh. See a nice little grove of trees over there. Hopefully this is not where the bears like to chill during the day, 'cause I want to chill there. But my original plan for this hike was to go down Snow Pass Trail, then come back. but I think I'm gonna make a full loop. I'm gonna be going down Fawn Pass Trail next, and then there's a trail called Howard Eaton, and that passes a little place on the map called the Hoodoos. There's a lot of poop right here. So, going back to the metaphor of rooms, or just the idea of, or the understanding that when we exit one room and enter into another, somehow our minds go someplace else. I guess I wonder if it's always supposed to, if it's, I wonder if that's the way it's supposed to be. Oh, we've got a little prairie dog down here. Understanding just the way that certain people, they come alongside you in life, and you feel a certain sense of security. You're able to connect with certain people in different ways, just depending on the tones of your personality or the way that they go about connecting, and the time that they take to allow the room to open up. It's sacred. The connection between two people is sacred. And when we're constantly thrust into war zones, into factories, industrial places, places which have warning signs like um, wear your hard hat. Um, Safety is our number one priority. The reason that those places have signs like that is because they're dangerous places. They're noisy places. They're conveyor belts. They're factory lines. They're war zones. And I'm interested in the room of love. I'm interested in whatever that sacred space is. It's interesting to me um, whoa, oh, the prairie dog's out. Wow, that was such a sharp noise. Hold on. So we've got all these rooms. I think about I don't feel that I was given a safe room growing up. And every person needs a room that is safe so that when they leave that room and go out into the world, they can return to that safety later on. Because whether I like it or not, I understand that the world isn't necessarily a safe place. And it should be. But I don't know. I've seen quite a bit of safety. I've seen a lot of good things in the world. And I've also seen a lot of bad things. What is this world? As people, we have the opportunity to open up the room of love to each other. We have an opportunity to create safe spaces in each other's midst. And that's really hard to do on a factory floor. That's really hard to do in a place which there's always someone watching you, looking out for all of the things that you could be doing wrong. Or when there's someone in a leadership position who's saying, go faster, go faster. The body needs to feel safe. The person needs to feel safe. We all need to feel safe. Just imagine what we could do. Imagine what we could be if everyone felt safe in this world, if everyone could exist in a state of peace, in the room of love. The sustaining force of the universe, the sustaining energy of the universe is not one of entropy and decay. It is one of love. And all around us, beyond our comprehension, beyond our understanding, love surrounds all. Love is in our midst. If only we would have the courage to believe, or the audacity to believe. Because in a world of fear and hatred, love has no place. And even if we do not have the courage, even if we do not have the faith to believe that love surrounds all that we are in and going through, even if there is nothing there within us, love is still present. love is still there. In all our moments. So this other mountain, it's called Sepulchre Mountain. I've mentioned it before, but yeah. I climbed up that little patch of snow just the other week. Looks so tiny from here. I can smell all the trees around me. And it's just glorious.